I hope your day has been fantastic, and I hope you guys can hear me. So I'm going to go live today, and I'm showing you how to make a quiche Lorraine in your Thermomix. Now you might be thinking, oh, you know, is it really that hard? It's actually incredibly easy. So let me show you today how easy it is. I'm going to make it gluten-free. I'm not going to make it dairy-free because obviously it's got parmesan on it. But let me show you how simple this is and how quick it can be. It can be such an easy dinner or lunch, especially lunch if you're not expecting people over. So let me show you how to do it. First things first is it asks for some Gruyere cheese. That translates to Parmesan cheese, okay? Now, I pre-grate mine. You guys saw me last night talk about, I think it was last night, talk about the fact that I pre-grate it and I freeze it, and then I just let it knock it around in the container to defrost it or to break it apart. So I don't have to do that because I've already got some. So I can skip the milling step. Then I've got to preheat my oven, grease a quiche tin. I'm just using my little flan here, and I've got 2 layers of baking paper. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. Next is now 75 grams of butter cut into little squares. Do say hi if you're watching on today, and I'd love to know that you can hear me. I had all sorts of trouble getting online today for you guys. It's a bit tricky when you're moving your home every couple of days, and the setup's not as simple as home where you can just go and push a button. Oh, 79, that'll do. All right, 150 grams of plain flour. So I am using GF plain flour. I just use usually this brand, but honestly, whatever you would normally use is fine. You don't have to use GF. You can use normal plain flour. Oh, Carissa, thank you so much. And Anne, thank you for saying you can hear. Since last week when I went live twice and you guys couldn't hear me, it's got me that little bit anxious. So thank you so much for letting me know that you guys can hear me today. All right, 150 grams of plain flour. And even I tried to go live about 10 minutes ago, and the other computer just wouldn't play game, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So I'm so pleased that today you can hear me. All right, half a teaspoon of salt. So we are currently on the grid again, so we're not off grid like last night. We are now in Port Douglas, here for a couple of nights. So we've been swimming this afternoon, which is lots of fun. All right, 50 grams of water. Here we go. Just remember with your water, in this recipe it's not so much of an issue. However, it does want to be room temperature water, not warm water, because warm water will play with the science behind this. Your butter will melt, your pastry will become soggy. I would ordinarily as well with GF cut that flour down a wee bit because it's easier to add more later, but forgot today, okay? Bit flustered from the technology issues. So I just really wanted to get live and cook with you guys and didn't want to do it today. The technology didn't happen for me. Okay, speed 4 for 20 seconds. This is going to bring it together, and our pastry will be done in 20 seconds. How cool is that? All right. You can hear it coming together into a bowl. That's what we want. Need your spatula. Perfect time to get your kitchen sorted. This is the beauty of Thermomix, right? Is that you can actually sort your kitchen out in these little snippets. It's amazing what you can get done in 20 seconds. All right, have a look at that. Pastry done. Now, we'll get this out. Just going to, actually, before I get this out, I'm just going to add that little bit of GF flour that's stuck up the side. You guys saw when I tipped it over, there was a little bit stuck there. I could let that go to waste, or I can just scrape it down. Gosh, you know how flustered I am when I go to put the bowl in backwards. You guys see that? I never do that. I don't think I've ever done that. I mean, there's always that element of, you know, oh, I've got to go live and get a bit nervous, but to put the bowl in backwards, that's different. Anyway, okay, let's just do that last step. Let's combine this through. Rotate 20 seconds again. And I will show you how to cook the bacon in the thermo. Yes, I will. All right, that'll do. So that's pulled that pastry together, and so I want to get this out of the bowl now. Now, if your pastry hasn't come together, what can you do? You can add a teeny tiny, not much, a little bit more water. That'll help your pastry come together. You could put it on a bit longer. Sometimes if your butter is super duper duper cold, it won't come together, and so if you extend your mix time, it melts that butter, softens that butter up, and it'll come together nicely. Now, this has come out a bit like, I wonder if I can show you without showing you my messy sink. There you go. You can see it's a bit cauliflower-like. That's how it should be, or popcorn you might think of it as. Push it together into a ball. This is on my top layer of baking paper, which is going to become the bottom in a second, and I'm just pushing it into a circle. I'm actually going to come back to this in a second because I want to get the bacon on to cook. So let's just leave that there, and let's go back to the Thermi and show you the next step. So transfer pastry to a silicone bread mat or floured surface, work into a ball, roll it out. We'll come back to that. Okay, let's be efficient with our time. Clean and dry the mixing bowl. No, we don't do that. All right. Now, the reason being, you do have a bit of dairy in there. There's a risk it might burn to the bottom. It's easy to clean off, right? Citric acid is your best friend. So 1 tablespoon of citric acid, 1 centimeter of water, and then use your kettle feature. Or if you don't have a kettle feature because you've got a 31 or a TM5, use your aroma, okay, and just bring it up to boil, and then get your spatula and wipe it off. I don't know why my screen's changing colors there, guys. Sorry about that. Working on it, okay? Technology. 200 grams of bacon in this goes. I've just got pre-diced. I actually want to add as well, I've got some ham that needs using, so let's add the rest of that in. Later on, when I'm off camera, I may well add some ham to that as well. Actually, here we go. No, that's not the ham. No, can't find the ham. I will come back to that later. You know when your ham starts going a bit slimy and you think, oh, I probably shouldn't use that on sandwiches or anything like that. We don't buy ham very often. That's why it does go funny. Oh, you're amazing. Little helpers behind me. So that's when I like to cook it. Okay, when it starts getting to that stage where you just know that it's starting to sour, cook it off. Don't leave it too long, otherwise you might make yourself sick from it. But you know, that time when it gets to that stage, you can cook it off. It says to add oil, skip the oil. The bacon usually has enough fat on its own, but it doesn't really need it, I find. And then this is going to cook for 3 minutes, so it's not long at all. So, back down to our pastry. Let me show you how we do this. Now, 2 layers. So this makes it really easy. Even if it's too sticky, or if it's crumbly, you have to add a bit more water. But if it's too sticky and tacky to work with, this works still. I've got a silicone rolling pin, but a normal rolling pin will do just fine. And we just push it round and push it in a circle. And the circle means that that's what you're going to end up with. You're going to end up with a beautiful big circle. Okay, keep rotating it around, push it out. This is also the same technique you'll use for doing things like wraps. If your wraps, you know, gluten-free wraps, floured wraps, especially if your dough is sticky or you're in the humidity, like we're up here at Port Douglas, it's humid. It's amazing. I love the warm weather, but it is humid, it's sticky. All right, round we go with this. And I just want to make a circle. It's actually really quite easy to make a circle when you've got baking paper, because if you've ripped it into approximately squares, you just take it all the way out to the edges of the squares. Okay? Alright, we're nearly there. So now, all we do, I'll show you what this looks like. Look at this. Okay, so it's really easy and pliable to use. Now I'm going to get my rose gold. Isn't this so easy? You can see how it works together nicely to be all done in one go. This today, I can take this top layer off. If you can't, because yours is too sticky, leave it on, put it in your hot oven just for 5 minutes. It'll be long enough to be able to seal the top, and then take this layer off. So par cook it, okay? But mine's okay, I can deal with it today, even with the GF flour. Okay, so we push it in, just lift the sides. If you've never done much pastry work before, the trick is to lift the sides as you drop it in. Don't work for perfection, okay? Don't try and make it perfect. Make it so that it's going to be edible over perfect, okay? Preferably in a timely manner as well, my kids would tell you, as I argue with my computer this afternoon for about half an hour to try and get this going for you guys. They're like, just make dinner, Mum. So, Carissa, you made strawberry jam. That is awesome. Or you're making, hang on. Let me scroll down. The comments for some reason roll off the screen. Hello, Karen. Lovely to have you on this afternoon. Oh, you make strawberry jam on the weekend. Yum. I hear down your way, Carissa, the strawberries are relatively cheap at the moment. It was interesting. We went to the strawberry farm up on the Atherton Tablelands, and they're not cheap yet up here because it's the beginning of our season. So this is done. So now we just wait for this beautiful bacon to be done in 19 seconds. Can you believe it? And we're going to go on to the next step. Now, the next step does have cream in it. Now, those of you who've watched me make this before, you know that I use coconut cream instead. However, I don't have any at the moment. I did and ah about putting yogurt in it. I've got some yogurt left over, but I might just skip that today. I might just completely leave that out altogether. It's only 150 grams. It'll be alright. Alright. There we go. This step is done. Let me just bring you back up a bit. Next, drain the bacon. I don't find, unless you put oil in it, I don't find it actually needs to be drained. And I tend to be so quick on the next few steps, I really don't worry. So I'm just going to put that straight in to here. There was a little bit of liquid in it, doesn't matter. It'll be right. The ham's gone in too. You'll see the strips of ham in it. Could have diced that up, but anyway. Again, it's about speed at the moment. My place, feeding the hungry tribe. All right, next up, 4 eggs. Mine are quite large eggs. You would maybe put a 5th in if they're small, especially if you're going to do like me and skip the cream part. I have got milk today, only because I think I mentioned the other day we found some in the fridge. I don't know who bought it or what it was for, but anyway. You can leave it out though, or you can substitute it with a nut milk. But I am trying to use it up before the use by date so you don't have to throw it out. So, okay. Next up, we're going to skip the creme fraiche or pouring cream, or what I would use as coconut cream. 1/4 teaspoon of salt. You could put veggie stock at this point in, about a teaspoon. Obviously I'm not going to. Next up is some pepper. Do I have my pepper on hand? No, I'm going to skip that pepper out because I just don't know where it's been put, because we are here after moving day. It's got we're going to combine this now for 30 seconds. Oh, can you not squeak the door, please? Can you close the door up so it doesn't squeak? Speed for 30 seconds. We won't need 30 seconds. About 10 seconds is all it's going to take. You can hear when it's done. Do any of you as well cook with your ears, where you actually can hear when it's finished chopping or it's finished mixing? You can hear that consistency. We can still do that with Thermomix. Just because it's guiding us doesn't mean we have to follow it. Okay, so next, all right, arrange the bacon. Well, my bacon's sitting in there already, in with my beautiful eggs. Just let me wiggle you down so you guys can see. All right. So we're just pouring that over. Make sure all of it is covered. Obviously mine's probably going to be a little bit more eggy because I don't have the... by the way, I cooked that bacon off in there, and look at that. No burning whatsoever. How cool is that? Okay, so now just our beautiful parmesan on top. And that's it. In the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. So half an hour, and this will be done and ready to eat. Now, serve it with a beautiful side of salad. By the way, I'm not weighing this. I think it was 50 grams. Might have been 70. I'm just going to use the rest of it because it actually... I feel like that's otherwise going to leave the tiniest bit left. But there you go. That is quiche Lorraine in a matter of 8 minutes. Probably less than that if I stop talking. In your Thermomix. If you've not tried it, give it a go. If you want to fancy it up, a little tip, you can put some tomato on top. So slice up some tomato nice and thinly, put it on top before you put the parmesan on top. Looks absolutely pretty. So things like that you can do. Play with that with your Thermomix and let me know how you go. I am here to help you get the very most out of your Thermomix. So please don't ever hesitate to reach out, ask questions. If you've got friends and family thinking on a Thermomix, let them know that at the moment when they buy a Thermomix, it's coming with an amazing 2.6 litre thermoserver and the beautiful new cookbook from Thermomix. So freebies are amazing. I mean, they're going to get a Thermomix. That's going to change their kitchen, but freebies are just a little shiny bonus on the side. Plus they get me, which, you know, I want to make sure you get the very most out of your Thermomix. So I'm going to love you and leave you and get this in the oven before the kids get cranky or hungry with me. Sorry about the weird colours today. I know I'm a bit washed out. I will figure this out. We're here for a little while, so yay for more videos inspiring you to get more out of your Thermomix. And thanks for joining today, guys. And thanks to those of you who came on and said hello today. Hello, Rach. Lovely to have you on as well. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye for now.